before the J was there, it was a Y. See? And then with this V, some say Va, some say Wa. So just say that was once a W, or some people pronounce it as a W. Well, understand this is an erroneous, this is a blunder created out of trying to translate this into English. This is Hebrew. This is English. Okay? So, okay. Now just add vowel points to that and watch what you come up with. And this is what they done. This is what some of the groups and camps done. So you, okay, y'all. Look. See? That's how they got YHWH. These brothers trying to translate it back into the Hebrew, attempting to translate it as close as they could. They can't just put the Y there instead of a J. So really it's just like they saying Jehovah, but they just put a Y there instead of the J. And then over here they put a W instead of the V. So where the Jehovah Witness, he says Jehovah. Now you got some of the brothers in the Hebrew camp saying the English translation of the Hebrew name Yahweh, YHWH, the Hebrew. Now that becomes what? YHWH. From Jehovah to YHWH. Oh, we just add the Y. We just add the Y onto it and we got it. But this was a blunder to start out with because it has many more vowel points. So now they have YHWH. Oh, YHWH, he's gonna do this in YHWH. So that's how they came up with YHWH. But I commend you brothers for coming closer to home, and I love you, brother Zeal. I love you, brother Zeal, and getting closer home, attempting to get closer home. Okay. Remember, these are all English. Translations, transliterations of the Hebrew name, Yud, He, Wav, He, the 4 letters. Okay. So you have to ask yourself now. I know this is what you see when you read English, because we read English in America because we speak English, and we adopted the language of English in America as the tribe of Judah and the Hebrew Israelites that were brought here into slavery and captivity. I know this is the language that you speak now. But the Messiah, Yahweh ben Yahweh, says that this is his name. See this? This is Yahweh ben Yahweh's name in Hebrew. It would be Yud He Wab He, Bet Nun Sofit, Yud He Wab He, Bet Nun Sofit. Then you would have Yud He Wab He again. This would be how you say Yahweh ben Yahweh's name. So it'd be Yud He Wab He, Bet Nun Sofit Yud He Wab He, right? So in English, he says his name is Yahweh ben Yahweh. That's the English form, Yahweh ben Yahweh. But when you transliterate it back into the original Hebrew, it becomes this. And if you want to take it back to the older Hebrew, it would be the same, but it would look a little different. But we're not getting caught up into the English, because we know we've been trapped in English here in America. So this is a door. This is a door. And a lot of you brothers are caught in this box of the English translation, when the whole time the truth has been right in our face. This is what Yahweh ben Yahweh is telling us. You see? The truth This is what Yahweh Ben Yahweh is telling us. So Yahweh Ben Yahweh is really telling you that this is his name. This is my Hebrew name. I'm Hebrew. We're Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew is our nationality. Hebrew is our culture. Hebrew is our language. Not English. So if you want to get caught up in technicalities of English translations, oh, well, yo, that's not his name. But, oh, yeah, that's not his name right there, Yahweh or Yahweh or Jehovah. That's not his name. Because then you wouldn't have to accept the one. You wouldn't have to accept him as the one. You can keep brothers caught up on this translation. Oh, his real name is YHWH. Okay, you can keep brothers caught up in this English, but you can't get beyond this name, though. And this is what Yahweh Ben Yahweh tells you, see? This is Yahweh Ben Yahweh's name in Hebrew. So how would you say Yahuwah in Hebrew? It would go right back to that, right? How would you say Jehovah in Hebrew? It would go right back to this, right? How would you say YHWH in Hebrew? It would go right back to this, right? This is what Yahweh Ben Yahweh's been telling you the whole time, that this is his name. You walk up to Yahweh Ben Yahweh and you say, hey, brother, what's your name? And he's going to tell you, my name is Yahweh. Well, how do you spell that? Well, in English, I spell it this way. But since I'm a Hebrew, this is how you actually spell my name and say my name in Hebrew. This is how my name actually looks in Hebrew. You see? And that's why Yahweh Ben Yahweh also says that he is the door. And you still got to come by him. Once you grow beyond these translations, once you grow beyond this, you still can't get beyond this. If you want to stay caught here arguing about, oh, well, his name ain't Yahweh, and his name is YHWH, and his name is Ahaya, and his name is all these English transliterations. But when you come into the truth that came from Hebrew, now you got a real problem, because you still can't get beyond this name. What are you going to do now, brothers? Hebrew Israelite camps. See, Yahweh Ben Yahweh said he was looking for smart folks. So see, smart folks ain't got to keep looking up all this stuff to come to that conclusion. And that is the conclusion. We're getting from the English to the Hebrew. So once you go to the Hebrew, you can't get beyond this. What's your name, brother? Yahweh. How do you spell that in Hebrew? There you go. And you brothers say, well, I believe in Yahweh. Okay. Yahweh, what is that? That's the English form. That's the English. How do you spell that in English? Then you go to Yahweh or YHWH, written out with the vowel points added. But how do you say that in its original? How do you spell that originally? How do you say Yahweh? Right back to this name. How do you say YHWH? Right back to this name. This root. Yahweh Ben Yahweh said he is the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. I am the root and the offspring of David. Here's the root. Yahweh Ben Yahweh also says, Yahweh Ben Yahweh HaMashiach also says that he is the door. So guess what? When you come out of this door right here, go beyond this door, okay, he's knocking. Oh, man. So you go further. You travel further. You still got to come to the actual door. This door. And trust me, brothers and sisters, you still got to go by this door here. So, and there's no getting around this door here. So we've just proven that fact. Come on up, elevate your mind And let's not fight over translations. Let's not fight over transliterations of this Hebrew name, of the Hebrew name, of the Hashem, the Kadesh Hashem. Let's not get caught up here. And let's go to the door himself. YHWH. Bet Nun Sophie. YHWH. And there's only one man in the history that's ever came bearing this name, manifesting this name, and teaching it to you, who are the lost tribes of the house of Israel, who came to you, Israel, the Hebrews in America, who came to you, the tribe of Judah in America, who came to you with this name. John chapter 5 verse 43. What does that say? I am come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. See? Yahweh ben Yahweh. I have come in my Father's name, yet you don't receive me. It also goes on to say, if another shall come in his own name, him ye will receive. So why you ain't receive the one that came in this name, even though you can call him Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Ahaya, the one that came in this name here? Why you did not receive him, and why you come up with every excuse not to receive him? Every minute excuse not to receive him, you rebellious house. But yet you received all your elders that came in their own name. What's your name? Elder Nathaniel. What's your name? Elder Ephraim. What's your name? Chief Ephraim. What's your name? Elder Zabat. What's your name? Sherapah. What's your name? These are their own names. These are people's own names. What's your name? Joshua. So you receive all these men that come in their own name, but you refuse to receive the one that came in this name, that came in the flesh in this name. YHWH. You won't receive that one that came in that name. And if you walk up to the Messiah, the Mashiach, Yahweh ben Yahweh, and you ask him what is his name, just walk up to him and ask him his name. What's your name? Yahweh. What's your name in Hebrew? YHWH. How do you spell that in Hebrew? And you'll see this. That's how you spell that in Hebrew. Yahweh ben Yahweh is the door, brothers and sisters. Let's come together. Let's stand up. Let's line up behind, along with Shiloh, the one to whom the gathering of the people should be. Let's stand with Shiloh and line up with Shiloh as a nation. The nation of YHWH, Yahweh. We are the nation of Yahweh. We are the true house of Yahweh. The house of Israel is the nation. And we have blessed you out of the house and nation of Yahweh. Another point I want to touch on in the concordance real quick. Okay. Just another barrier to break. Okay, when you come over into... Okay, the first form, and this is what a lot of you see when you go to Psalms 68 verse 4, where it says the name Yah. Sing praises unto his name, which rideth upon the heavens by his name Yah. That would be 3050 right here, see? Yah. And that's half of the name, see? You got the Yud there, see? Yud and the Hey. That's 3050 in the Hebrew, and it tells you that that's pronounced Yah or Yah. See? And it says that it's, see this word here? Yah. See that word next to that pronunciation where it says the pronunciation is Yah? and it says CONTR. Okay, so you got to use this concordance. You can't just look at that and go past it if you say you reading, because it says that is a CONTR for 3068. Okay, so a CONTR. Let's go look that up. When you go over here and abbreviate the abbreviation, so you just go in front of your concordance to where it says abbreviations over here. See, it's gonna have the abbreviations, what that meant in that description of the name. See, and then you'd have to come over here where it says, okay, CONTR right there, and it says that it means contracted or contraction. Contracted or contraction for 3068. So it's letting you know that the word Yah is a contraction, or it has been contracted from 3068. From this is then when you go over to 3068, then you'll see what it's a contraction from. Here you go. See, it's a contraction for and from 3068. So this is the full form. See, you got the full name there, which is the 4 letters. Yud, Hey, Wah, Pay right there. The same thing as this. Yud, Hey, Wah, Pay. That is the full name. Okay, so we're going to go over here in the Webster's, because it told us when we looked in the abbreviations that that was a contracted or a contraction of the full name. See, it said Yah is a contraction or has been contracted from this name. For those of you who want to say, well, his name is Yah, that's what we see in the scripture. Yeah, you reading a contracted form. You reading a contraction of the full name, which is this. So come beyond your spookism. See, Yahweh say he looking for smart people. And you say you smart, and y'all be making all these videos and everything, but you can't even get to the door. This is the door. You got to know what address you looking for. This is the address. See that? That's the address right there. So we dealing with Yah, the contraction or contracted form. And when you go down here in the dictionary, guess what it says? Okay, it says right here, see what it says for contract or contracting or contraction. Number 5, what it says: to shorten a word or words by omitting or combining some of the letters or sounds. So they omitted half of the word of the full word. See, of the 4, and it say Yud, Hey, Wah, Hey, or YHWH, and then they just say YH. It would be Yah instead of Yahweh. So that's the contracted form of the full name, just with 2 of the letters. That's a contraction or a contracted form of the full name. See, it's 4 letters. But when you contract it, as they did in Psalm 68 verse 4, it became 2 letters, and it became Yah. But it's just a contracted form of the whole name. Don't get caught up on that, brothers and sisters. Let's grow. Let's move beyond that. And I'm so happy we're dealing with smart folks. That is the manifestation of the name Yud, Hey, Wah, Pay. See? A contracted form. And I'm going to read that again to you. To shorten a word. The full word is Yud, Hey, Wah, Pay. To shorten a word or words. The contracted form or abbreviated form is Yud, Hey. So you see, brothers and sisters, that is all that is, a contracted form. And we went through all this to show you that we must not get caught up in the English translations of any kind and allow that to be a barrier to keep us from coming together as a people and not to see the true Hamishiach, YHWH, Bet Nun Sofit, YHWH. Yahweh ben Yahweh. And if you have a problem with me saying Yahweh ben Yahweh, then I'll say YHWH, Bet Nun Sofit, YHWH. That is the Hebrew. If you have a problem with me, the transliteration of Yahweh in the English word Yahweh, then I'll take you back to the Hebrew, YHWH. And once you go beyond your translations of the name and all that there, you're going to come up to this door. And that's why that's why the Messiah says that he's the door. No matter what you try to do, so you don't have to come by him. In the end, you are going to have to come by him. No man goes unto the Father but by me. I am the door. You see that? So come on, brothers, let's get together. You brothers are sharp. I'm looking at a lot of y'all as y'all growing and you doing good works out there in the street. You bringing this knowledge to our people across the land, across the world. And I thank you for your efforts, and I thank you for everything that you do. And Yahweh thanks you and loves you for everything that you do. YHWH does. YHWH loves you. YHWH Bet Nun Sofit loves you. And so do I. So let's line up. Let's get in the formation. Let's line up with Shiloh, with the Messiah, with Yahweh, with YHWH. Let's line up. Let's get in line. Let's get in order. And let's move forward together as a nation, the nation of YHWH. YHWH loves you. YHWH Bet Nun Sofit loves you. And so do I. Shalom, shalom.